So here you have another example of why Kotaku journalists absolutely despise the male gaze. Like, they embrace all other forms of sexuality in video games, but the moment it's about the male gaze, they freak out. So they like bare sex scenes. They will enjoy LGBT representation. Like, they will like absolutely everything, and they will even be upset when the tushy of a game is being nerfed. So we're going to go back to that. But first, I want you to see some Kotaku articles because it looks so jarring when it's placed side by side. Like here we have, the meme showing the Kotaku journalists enjoying the fact that Baldur's Gate adds jiggly physics to cock and balls. However, as you can see, the same thing when you have breast physics for female characters. Oh, that's horrible, right? Because that's the male gaze. Now, again, the reason for it is not because, like, you can't have access to lewdness in video games. Like, that's not my point. Because if you want to have lewdness, I mean, you have VTubers, you got anime, you got phone gacha games. Like it's not like you can't find fan service if you want. All right? Like, that's not my argument. My argument, however, is that they are trying to pathologize the male gaze. Like, they are trying to tell people who are young, like 18-year-olds, they're trying to tell them that if they happen to like fan service, that if they enjoy seeing a beautifully drawn female character, then they are evil. They are disgusting. Like this is the effort that they are trying to push. They are trying to demoralize young men in order to make them feel that there is something wrong with them and make them feel that they need to find answers. And of course, the left has answers. It's like, oh, well, why don't you join the furry community? Why don't you become a pillar of the furry community? Like there are other avenues to channel your sexuality. Just move away from the male gaze. I mean, this is the vibe that I'm getting. And I'm getting this vibe because I'm on Twitter almost terminally, right? So I interact with these individuals. I know what the game journalists think, what they're pushing for, what their fans are saying. And this is the actual vibe. Now, I'm not saying they're necessarily doing it conscientiously, but as you can see, like, it's happening time and time again. Like for example, articles demanding to see Oro's penis in Street Fighter V. Obsession over Link's package. The best indie sex game on the unskippable Ticho. And then you have, like, Baldur's Gate 3 has everything, right? So they're talking about bear sex. Meanwhile, as you can see here, Seran Kagura makes you uncomfortable. And this is like a public game. Like, it's not a hentai game or anything. Like, you can get it off Steam. I think it's even on the PlayStation. I would have to check. But like, this is a mainstream game. It's probably rated, I think, like 18+. So it's not for everyone. Like, children shouldn't be able to play it. But, like, again, this is, like, fine. This is an okay game. E3 Soul Calibur objectified women. Like, this is their issue, right? So as you can see, through multiple articles over a long period of time, like there is a pattern here. And they never break it. Like, you're not going to have them praise the femininity of a character in a video game, right? Like, again, if you look at it through the point that they just despise the male gaze and it's done to demoralize their readers, then it makes perfect sense. Now, if you happen to be as unfortunate as I am and read Kotaku more often than the average person, you also start to notice a trend. Not just in the way that they choose to make articles, but in the title as well. So, for instance, here you have players are bummed about Solid Snake's nerfed ass. I guarantee you, I'm willing to put money that if people were complaining about Lara Croft's breasts being reduced, either they would choose not to cover it, or if they did, they would be incredibly insulting towards the fans that were upset, that they would say, oh my god, look at the porn addict, oh blah 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 blah. They want Lara Croft to be hypersexualized. Why do you want her to be hypersexualized? Don't you know that she appeared as a little girl in her last game? Are you a pedophile? Oh, we better call the FBI. This is the arguments that they would use if someone would complain about the way a female character is being quote-unquote nerfed. But when a male character is being nerfed, no, it's perfectly fine. I mean, they're not porn-obsessed addicts. No, it's just gamers that are a little bit upset that their fan service is being taken away. And by the way, I agree with them. Like, I generally agree with them. Like, why would you do it? What's the point? Oh, but children play this game. The ass is covered. The ass is covered. If it was twerking, I would agree. It's not twerking. It's just like, come on. Is there such a thing as too much prudeness? I mean, again, I grew up with American cartoons in the 90s. The female characters were smoking hot. If you remember Jessica from Johnny Quest, if you remember that General's daughter from SWAT Cats, X-Men, I mean, hell, you had the skin-tight bodysuits on most female characters in the X-Men. Did it harm my psyche? Probably it did. I mean, look at the person that I become. So in my opinion, like, as long as it's fully clothed, like, yeah, sure, like, so what if the ass is big? Like, why did you make it smaller? And by the way, there were cartoons that had, like, subliminal messages when I grew up, so that if an adult plays it, the adult can enjoy it. Like, for example, Dexter and Dee Dee. It had, like, a lot of jokes. Like, they would have Dexter's mom's ass, and it had written Dad's trophy. So when I was a kid that I was watching that, I didn't get the joke at all. However, my parents, who were sitting in the room, would laugh because they would get it. So again, like, it's fine. Because I get their arguments, like, oh, well, the children are playing this game. It's like, okay, so, like, it's covered. He's wearing clothes. Like, if it was naked, I would agree, but shouldn't there be a line? Jesus. So Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 1 has begun, and apparently they nerfed the Tushy. Solid Snake, the primary protagonist of many Metal Gear Solid games, generally maintained the same look across games he cameoed in. One thing did change each time Solid Snake showed up: the plumpness of his buttocks. His posterior is normally quite prominent. With that amount of jumping and crawling he does out on the field, but apparently they're leaving folks sad that his ass is now flat. I have no problem with this article, by the way. Like, no, this is legit criticism. Like, fans are genuinely upset. There are people who actually do like Solid Snake. But I wish they would use the same freaking arguments when they nerfing Lara Croft's tits. Right? Or when another character from a different video games appears nerfed. But they would never, So apparently, folks took to the internet, TikTok, Reddit, Twitter to share their grief. Again, they are doing literally the same thing with female characters. It's just that every single time Kotaku ignores it completely. The common sentiment from posters online, it seems that Epic Games or Fortnite hates male ass. Oh, fuck off. I love the fact that they are conscientious, like they are aware. Like they know that when people like me get upset that, again, Lara Croft's breasts are being shrunk, it's not because we are obsessed with porn. Like, that's not the point. The point is that we think that you, the journalists, and you, the game developers, hate the female aesthetic. We genuinely think you're misogynistic. There, I said it. Like, yes, unironically, we think that you hate the female form. And the question is why? And if you do hate her, why do we need to give you money if you're at war with the female aesthetics? So, yeah, it's an interesting read. The double standard, very strong. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section.